January 7, 1914. Give them all, O Lord, thy peace and light. Open their blinded eyes and their darkened understanding. Calm their futile worries and their vain anxieties. Turn their gaze away from themselves and give them the joy of being consecrated to thy work, without calculation or mental reservation. Let thy beauty flower in all things. Awaken thy love in all hearts, so that thy eternally progressive order may be realized upon earth, and thy harmony be spread until the day all becomes thyself in perfect purity and peace. Oh, let all tears be wiped away, all suffering relieved, all anguish dispelled, and let calm serenity dwell in every heart, and powerful certitude strengthen every mind. Let thy life flow through all like a regenerating stream, that all may turn to thee and draw from that contemplation the energy for all victories. January 8, 1914. Let us shun the paths that are too easy and ask no effort, the paths which give us the illusion of having reached our goal. Let us shun that negligence which opens the door to every downfall, that complacent self-admiration which leads to every abyss. Let us understand that however great may have been our efforts, our struggles, even our victories, compared with the distance yet to be travelled, the one we have already covered is nothing, and that all are equal, infinitesimal grains of dust or identical stars before eternity. But thou art the conqueror of all obstacles, the light that illumines all ignorance, the love that vanquishes all pride, and no error can persist in front of thee. January 9, 1914. Lord, incomprehensible reality, thou who ever fleest before our conquest, effective though it may be, thou who shalt always be the unknown, despite all that we shall learn to know of thee, despite all that we shall ravish from thy eternal mystery, we would go forward, making a complete and constant effort, combining all the multiple paths leading to thee. Go forward like a rising, indomitable tide, breaking down all obstacles, crossing every barrier, lifting up every veil, scattering all clouds, piercing through all darkness. Go forward towards thee ever to thee. In a movement so powerful, so irresistible, that a whole multitude may be drawn in our wake, and the earth, conscious of thy new and eternal presence, understand at last its true purpose, and live in the harmony and peace of thy sovereign realization. Teach us always more, give us more light, dispel our ignorance, illumine our minds, transfigure our hearts, and give us the love that never runs dry and makes thy sweet law flower in every being. We are thine for all eternity. January 10, 1914. My aspiration rises towards thee, ever the same in its almost childlike form, so ordinary in its simplicity, but my call is ever more ardent, and behind the faltering words there is all the fervor of my concentrated will. And I implore thee, O Lord, in spite of the naivete of this expression that is hardly intellectual, I implore thee for more true light, true purity, sincerity, and love. And all this for all, for the multitude constituting what I call my being, and for the multitude constituting the universal being. I implore thee, though I know that it is perfectly useless to implore thee, for we alone in our ignorance and ill will can stand in the way of thy glorious and total manifestation. But something childlike within me finds a support in this mental attitude. I implore thee that the peace of thy reign may spread throughout the earth. O inaccessible summit, which we unceasingly scale without ever reaching thee, sole reality of our being, whom we believe we have found, only to see thee immediately escape us. Marvelous state which we think we have seized, but which leads us farther and farther into ever unexplored depths and immensities. No one can say, I have known thee, and yet all carry thee in themselves and in the silence of their soul, and can hear the echo of thy voice. But this silence is itself progressive, and whatever be the perfection of the union we have realized, as long as we belong by our body to the world of relativity, this union with thee can always grow more perfect. But all these words we use to speak about thee are only idle talk. Grant that I may become thy faithful servitor. January 11, 1914. Every moment, all the unforeseen, The unexpected, the unknown is before us. Every moment, the universe is created anew in its entirety and in every one of its parts. And if we had a truly living faith, if we had the absolute certitude of Thy omnipotence and Thy sole reality, Thy manifestation could at each moment become so evident that the whole universe would be transformed by it. But we are so enslaved to everything that is around us and has gone before us. We are so influenced by the whole totality of manifested things, and our faith is so weak that we are yet unable to serve as intermediaries for the great miracle of transfiguration. But, Lord, I know that it will come one day. I know that a day will come when Thou wilt transform all those who come to us. Thou wilt transform them so radically that, liberated completely from the bonds of the past, they will begin to live in Thee an entirely new life, a life made solely of Thee, with Thee as its sovereign Lord. And in this way, all anxieties will be transformed into serenity, all anguish into peace, all doubts into certainties, all ugliness into harmony, all egoism into self-giving, all darkness into light, and all suffering into immutable happiness. But art Thou not already performing this beautiful miracle? I see it flowering everywhere around us. O divine law of beauty and love, supreme liberator, there is no obstacle to Thy power. Only our own blindness deprives us of the comforting sight of Thy constant victory. My heart sings a hymn of gladness, and my thought is illumined with joy. Thy transcendent and marvelous love is the sovereign master of the world. January 12, 1914. A teaching can be profitable only if it is perfectly sincere. That is, if it is lived while it is being given. And words often repeated, thoughts expressed frequently, can no longer be sincere.